Welcome to this week's video. In this video, we're gonna talk about the Task Manager. The Task Manager is a program that is installed by default on every single Windows installation. So there's nothing you have to install about it, and there's no way you don't have it. It's actually impossible to uninstall the Task Manager. And in today's video, I'm going to show you how to use the Task Manager and what it's for. So first of all, how do you open a Task Manager? There are two ways to open a Task Manager. Well, actually three ways. The first way is by simply right-clicking an empty space on your taskbar and clicking Task Manager. And it opens up just like this. And the second option would be to open your start menu and type Task Manager and open it from here. And the third option would be a keyboard shortcut, which is Control, Shift, and Escape, which also opens the Task Manager. And I guess if you want to call it that, there's a fourth option. If you pin it to your taskbar, you can simply open it from here like I do. So once we're inside the Task Manager, this is what you're going to see. So up here, we have all the programs that are running right now on my computer. So for example, we see like a background software that is used for fans in my computer. We see OBS Studio. This one is used to record this video right now. And you'll see a bunch of different programs. Maybe you know some of them, maybe you don't, that's okay. So over on this side, we can actually take a closer look to these programs. And as you can see, they keep skipping around. You can actually stop that by just simply holding down the Control key, and they stop hopping around. Because let's say I want to do something to OBS Studio, and it keeps hopping around, so I'd have to kind of be quick about it and have to aim for it. And if I simply hold down the Control key, it stays in place, and I can simply right-click it from here. So here in the context menu, you see a couple of options. The main option that most people will use it for is to end the task. So what this is used for is basically not really closing the program, but closing the entire task on your computer. Because if you hit the X up here on a program, it does a clean close. And if you end the task, the computer is not going to think about it twice, and it just kills it. So it's basically like an emergency way out. So let's say whatever program you're using, I'm going to start something up here, has crashed or is like lagging or something, and you want to close it, you can simply go over here and see what program is that. In this case, it's the Feather Launcher. And you can right-click it, end task, and boom, it's gone instantly. No delay, nothing. It just disappears. Now that's the main thing most people will use the Task Manager for, but you can actually use it for a lot of different things. For example, to see how your physical resources of your computers are used. So you can already kind of see it up here. You can see, like, for example, we can sort by CPU usage. That way, whatever uses the most CPU power at the moment is going to be on the top. Or we can sort it by memory. In this case, it's most likely going to be Outlook or your browser. And then we could also use disk, which is almost in all cases system, or when you're using a program to install something. And network is barely used because most people don't use network on their computer like that. But we can actually get a closer look on the performance if we go over here to the Performance tab. And here you can kind of see a lot of different information. So what we are in right now is the CPU tab. And the little boxes you see here are the different cores on your CPU. Maybe you've heard of it when your CPU has like 4 cores or 6 cores. These are the individual cores and how they are being used. So right now I can see that core 1 and core 5 are being used the most, which is, that doesn't really matter, that doesn't concern most people. Another interesting thing we can see on this page is the uptime. That's actually how long it's been since your last restart or your last power loss. So for example, if you're using a laptop and it runs out of battery, this uptime is going to go down to 0 again. Or if you hit restart on your computer, which you should do at least weekly, by the way, it's also going to go down to 0. So let's say I click here and I hit shutdown, it's not going to reset that timer. So you see my PC has been running for 11 hours and 13 minutes, which is not that high. I know it's a long time, but I've not actually been using my PC for 11 hours. It's just been 11 hours since it restarted properly. So that's basically the CPU tab. If we go over to memory, there's a lot less information. We can just see how much is in use right now and how much is still available. And then we can see the total right below that. And yeah, some different information, but that doesn't really, that's not used in general use. Same with disk and Ethernet. That's what we saw on the network tab before. And if you're doing heavy GPU work, like editing videos or something, this tab might be interesting to you. The GPU tab, that's actually your graphics card. So right now, my PC uses quite a bit of GPU because I'm recording a video. Here you can kind of see as well what it's used for. It always says it here on the top. So this is 3D rendering. This one is video encoding, so recording the video signal and sending it back to my monitor. And there would actually be a video decode. That would be if my monitor was back streaming to the PC. And here we can see some different information about it. For example, when is the last driver update of my GPU? How much GPU memory is still available, and all sorts of stuff. And finally, there's 2 more things that are very important in a task manager. So first of all, you have certain apps on your computer that start up by default. So let's say you use your work computer and Teams always opens up by default. If you don't want that, you can actually go to the task manager and disable it here. So right now I'll sort it by enabled, so I see everything that is enabled on top and everything that is disabled at the bottom. So we can see right now on my computer Discord, everything.exe, LG System Tray, exe, MS Edge, NZXT Cam, OneDrive, and some other programs start up by default. I want it that way, but let's say I didn't want Spotify to start whenever I start the computer. I can simply right click it and hit disable. Or I could use the option up here. You can also see enable and disable. Whichever option is not active at the moment will be grayed out. So we can hit enable, now it's enabled again, or we could hit disable and now it's disabled again. So whenever I restart my computer now, Spotify is not going to start. What does that mean? Spotify will simply only start its process whenever I actually want to start the program. And if I have it enabled, it's just going to start in the background and save you a couple milliseconds of time to open the program. So that's what that does. And finally, we can go back to the processes, and let's say a program is running that you don't want on your computer. So let's say we have this, what could we use as an example? I'll use this one, NZXT Cam, which is a program that I want on my computer, but let's say it wasn't. So you might think, well, I would just simply disable it then, or end the task, right? but that doesn't actually stop it from like being on your computer, right? So what we can actually do is you see these little arrows right next to some processes. We can open it up and we can right click one of these sub processes and open its file location. So what this does, it puts us wherever this program is installed. So let's say for whatever reason you can't uninstall it, or you need to move some files into that folder or whatever. This way you can quickly get into wherever this program is installed. So right now it took me to local disk, program files, NZXT cam, and in here we can actually find the actual process that is running. So this is the program that is showing up here and is running on my computer right now. So let's say I wanted to delete that, then I could do that from here. Or I wanted to move some files here, now I know the path to it, and that's what that's used for. So yeah, those are the main things about Task Manager. I'll quickly go back over what we've learned. So you can open the Task Manager by either right-clicking the taskbar and opening it from here, hitting the keyboard shortcut Control-Shift-Escape, opening it like this, or typing Task Manager into your Start menu and opening it like this. On the Processes tab, you see whatever is running on your computer right now. On the Performance tab, you can see what each part is used for and how much utilization is going on. Startup apps, you can see whatever programs start up with your computer. And by right-clicking a service or a task, you can open its file location. Yeah. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week.